Welcome to Loud and Clear, a program geared toward the younger generations. You can listen in every Thursday at 7 p.m. or find the plug to our YouTube channel on kgtcradio.com.
Hey, I'm Nathan.
And I'm Carlos.
And welcome to Loud and Clear. So we are going to pick up kind of where we left off last week. We're talking about just the world around us and just some of that. We're talking out of Matthew chapter 24. But before we get into that, I did say last week that I was going to talk about my night routine. Because you said that you sleep with socks on.
For the most part.
Yeah, and for the most part. I lotion my feet. So this is all, I think we both, though, this is all like probably try to avoid like your foot catching on sheets.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah. That is super annoying.
That is really annoying.
But
I agree.
I will say, so the nighttime routine that I have, okay, I go and I brush my teeth, of course, right? Yeah. Sometimes I floss. We'll see. It depends. Mouthwash. Are you a mouthwash guy?
For the most part, I'm not.
Are you a floss guy?
I am a floss guy.
You are a floss guy. Okay. Do you do that like faithfully?
Not faithfully. Like I'm probably like, maybe once a week. I'm terrible out of it. Okay. But
yeah.
You know.
If I'm gonna see the dentist, like leading up until I'm like flossing, I'm using mouthwash, I'm brushing my teeth really good, all this different stuff. We had this wedding that I talked about in the last one, and I was like putting teeth whitener on and like trying to get it like prepped for the wedding and just like.
I go through seasons of that where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna get these suckers so white. Yeah. But then I'm like, it's so much work.
Do you use like the strips?
The strips, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Those are expensive.
Marshalls.
Not expensive. Okay. I'll have to look into that.
Check Marshalls, I'm telling you.
Because Melanie has this stuff that you have to like put on your teeth, and then you have to go like you have to lift and you have to go like this. You guys can't see.
There's somewhere like you put them on and you just go out go throughout your day.
Yeah, because the strip's gonna cover, so even if your lip goes over, okay.
But that would be so much better. We also have like the purple color correction stuff that I use sometimes too.
Oh, okay.
That stuff works pretty well.
Interesting. Have you heard of? I've seen like the infrared or not the infrared. Is it infrared?
It's like the blue light.
The blue light or whatever. Yeah. Like the stuff that you put on. I don't know if that really works.
It's so much work though.
Yeah, and it's kind of like expensive. That one's expensive.
Yeah, I'm broke.
Yeah. But I mean, I I brush my teeth pretty good. I try to take care of my teethers. Yeah. And then
the teethers in the skin, man.
The teethers in the skin. Yes. Do you do face wash routine?
I wash my face every morning and every night.
Okay. That's what I was gonna say. Okay. Now I don't feel so bad because I do that too.
That's a good thing.
I will say though, do you have one of those bands to hold your hair back?
No, I don't.
Okay. Melanie gave me one and it is a kitty. Just so you know, and it does have ears. So I do use that in the morning and at night.
That's awesome.
If I'm traveling and I've got people with me, I will use a backwards hat so that I look manly. But I usually use the soft kitty band to hold my hair back. But now I've just added myself to whoever listens to this. But I do use a face wash.
Yeah, you have to.
Do you have a specific brand that you use?
I think we do. Well, my wife does. I just use it because that's what she gets.
Yeah, that's.
I don't remember what the brand is, but like I didn't have a skincare routine until I met my wife.
Okay.
I glowed up after meeting my wife.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this in the kitchen. We were like, I was like, you know what? I might be getting a better look in the older that I get. Like I thought I was in my prime back then.
I'd agree with that.
I look back at pictures when I thought I was in my prime, and I was like, dude, I'm not. I wasn't in my prime.
You're just getting there.
I just not hit puberty. See, I think that's exactly what I told her. I was like, I'm just not hitting puberty.
Yeah. I will say that, skincare when you're teens, when you're young, do it. Yeah. I mean, try. I mean, I know it's hard.
The girls get it. Like, they get it, right? Yeah. But, the guys are like, oh, no, it's fine. But it's like, dude, no.
It makes you feel good, too.
Oh, I love it.
I don't know what the whole thing about being a teenager that you just have to be gross all the time.
Do you throw in a moisturizer after you're done, though?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, me too. Me too. I love the moisturizer.
Well, so I actually have a little bit of an issue. So I have my face wash that I do, but I used to do moisturizer, but come to find out, I have acne rosacea. So it's like a kind of a little bit of a skin condition.
Gotcha.
So I actually use a gel thing, but it doubles as like a moisturizer. Nice. It kind of moisturizes
you got to use some sort of moisturizer.
Yeah, but it's a little bit of a medication thing, so I do that. And then, I go and I take my allergy medication before bed. And then I usually lotion my feet.
Old man.
Sometimes I take ibuprofen if my back's bothering me. Sometimes I use a heating pad on my back.
This guy is old. This guy is barely 30, by the way.
It's bad. Like I have a fractured spine, so 3 vertebrae are slightly fractured. It sounds really dramatic. It's actually not that dramatic, but it bugs me, man.
Hey, no, I get you.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. There's sometimes I'm like, for aspirin right now. Like,
yeah. Sometimes I make the wife put the icy hot on. You know, it works out.
We're getting that age.
Yeah.
We're starting to get that age.
That's the night routine, and then my wife usually has to make the bed 3 times before she can fall asleep, because it has to be perfect.
What?
Yes, this is a thing. She has made the bed.
But what do you mean make the bed?
Well, so we have to make the bed before we go to bed.
But isn't it already made?
No, so we don't make the bed when we wake up. We're too lazy for that. So
I'm better than you. I make the bed every day.
Ooh, that's good for you.
Like,
dude.
I don't want to say I'm better than you guys because I'm not, but I think I am.
Yeah. So I wipe out the bed.
Yeah.
You have to brush it out just in case there's whatever, dirt, hair, bugs, whatever. So I have to wipe out the bed.
Crumbs and stuff.
Make sure both sides are even. One time I even took a measuring tape to it just
Are you kidding?
For giggles.
Wow.
And so I make sure each side is even, tuck in the sheet, all that, and then put the comforter over and make sure it's even on both sides. And all that, make it sure it's super tight, like military tight bed is what we try to do. And then I get into the bed and I try to go to sleep. Melanie comes in and she tries to go to bed, and then she gets in and then she's like, like it's not like you pulled the sheets too far your way or whatever. She has to get up, go around the bed, pull all the sheets. Like, so I know when she's come to bed.
Asleep, though?
I usually wakes me up because she's pulls the sheets on my side and tightens them up and then tucks me in and tucks everything, retucks everything, then tries to go to sleep. Luckily, sometimes if we're lucky, one time's enough. But for the most part, usually in the middle of the night, she'll get up and do it again.
Does it wake you up and so
It's actually OCD.
Yeah, it's like an OCD thing. But
wow.
It's crazy. So now you know what I have to deal with.
I did not know.
Yeah, you know the burden that I have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. My life's simple.
No,
but I'm the one coming to bed late at night, so
yes,
I'm super quiet and plugging in my phone and just jump in bed and I'm super gentle, but so do you guys have a fitted sheet and a top sheet, or do you just see we don't have a top sheet, we just have the fitted sheet because the top sheet is always falling. I don't want that issue.
Interesting. Do you use silk or satin or something?
I can't remember. I don't know what the fabric is because my wife is always about soft, and
okay,
it's every week she's like, I saw some new sheets that are cool, and I'm like,
interesting,
these ones are bamboo.
These ones are bamboo.
The other ones were mahogany.
Mahogany.
Like
just
woman.
a slab of wood. That's great.
Women. So, but I kind of get it. The wrinkles.
I will say, a tight bed is nice to sleep in. So I do get it. I understand. It doesn't. It's a burden I'm willing to bear.
Yeah.
It's okay.
This is a really serious question.
Yeah.
How often do you guys wash your sheets?
Weekly, right? Bi-weekly?
Yeah, my wife has every week.
Yeah.
She was washing the curtains last week.
Sometimes we will go
I was
weekly.
Woman, why?
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while, but sometimes we do weekly on the sheets.
I'll come home and sometimes she's mopping the walls, and I'm like, huh?
Dude.
I hit her with a huh.
Yeah.
No, they're dirty. And I'm like,
I feel like we just don't have enough time. Melanie would be the person to do that, but she's I don't know why, we just don't.
I do it in the spring.
We're just not in and out of our house so much. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that's fun. That's fun. That was a good conversation. Now you guys know about my deep personal life.
Yeah, you're deep.
We know what it's like when I go to bed. But yeah. So anyways, catch us next time. We'll talk about the morning routine.
The morning routine.
All right. Well, okay. So we're talking about the world around us, and we're talking about just kind of some serious, semi-serious topics, but just as a teenager, what you guys see. And we were kind of talking about just global things that are going on. And obviously our what we're talking about is just to not be alarmed and trust God, not fear, not be concerned about that necessarily. But then there's more regional things. I feel like that there's like, it's impacting us, there's like riots within our country, you know, and like there's things that we're seeing, and it's like, we have generations, we have people that you probably have on your Facebook or in your friend group that some maybe say one thing and they're on one side of the thing, and then somebody else is on the other side of it. And the hardest thing that you will ever have to do as a young person is to put opinions and beliefs aside and trust God, and to just submit to just God's heart, and loving people that are yelling at you is really difficult. And loving people that are accusing you is really difficult, because we are a generation that hates to be accused of things. And so we try to justify our actions and whatever. But if you're willing to be somebody who's submitted to the Lord and is willing to take that and respond with love, you are part of the solution, not a part of the problem. And I think that I have a lot of opinions on things, just in what's going on in the world. But I will say that I think that surprisingly, I think a lot of people would be surprised that somebody who truly loves the Lord and loves people, their opinions aren't necessarily black and white on those things. You just can't be, on whether it's immigration or whether it's whatever. I mean, these are topics that teenagers are even talking about, like not necessarily talking about in a political sense, but maybe just like whether it be joking about it or whether it be you have people that are affected by it. It's like you have to be loving. Obviously we have to follow the law and everything like that, and we have to trust God with it. No matter where you stand, you have to trust God. You do. I'm not here to tell you what's right or wrong, but at the same time, like, I know that we're supposed to be loving, and there's a lot of actions I see that are not God. But on the other end of things, there's also bad stuff on the other side too, and it's just like you have to trust God. You have to, and God will give you compassion where there needs to be compassion, understanding where there needs to be understanding, and patience where there needs to be patience.
I think anytime there's people involved, we have to be careful with how we react or respond, or even with our opinions, especially as believers. Like, we need to be careful with what we're saying, because we have a responsibility to try to do our best to represent God, right? And so I think when we're saying things or whatever, throwing out our opinions, like keeping in mind that we are to be reflecting Christ. And so whatever our stance is, I mean, there's a lot, my viewpoints on certain things most of the time don't agree with a lot of the people that I know, especially in my workplace, and I keep them to myself. I have to understand that, like, it's like a time and place type of thing. Do I believe that what I believe about certain things is lined up with the will of God or with Scripture? Absolutely, yes. But my job is not to start arguments and try to prove other people wrong, because that's not how Jesus operated. Jesus wasn't trying to prove a point or try to make somebody, he wasn't trying to debate things, And so I think as believers, like, you can believe in something, especially with the things going on in the world, and still keep your mouth shut and kind of just live like we're talking about, without the fear of what's going on. Like, we're not saying just don't ever pay attention to what's going on in the world and kind of brush it off. But what we're saying is those things don't have to paralyze you. You can know what's going on. You can give it whatever the 2 seconds that you want to give it to, and then we move on and we continue our walk with God. We continue the purpose that God has for us, the calling, the mission, whatever it is that we're doing for Christ. It just doesn't. We don't want it to paralyze us. We don't want it to stop us from growing, because there's a lot of people that see what's going on and they're like, oh, it's doomsday, and they're preparing like it's the end of the world, and that's fear. All of that is fear. There's nothing wrong with setting extra food aside, I guess, but if you're paralyzed by that kind of stuff, that's not God. That's not how God wants us to live our lives. And so don't allow these things to paralyze you. We have to walk by faith, and we have to trust God. We have to trust that God knows what's going on, and that all boils down to our relationship with Him.
Yeah.
Do we have a relationship with Him? Do we have a constant relationship with Him? Are we seeking Him? Are we trusting Him? Are we trying to find, His thoughts and His ways and His will? Because when you're so focused on the things around you, you're not gonna have time for God. And so it's like, okay, I know what's going on, but my attention's going to be on God. And so these things don't feel as big. They don't have that capacity to drive you into fear and all these other things. And so my prayer is, God, I know that there's things going on in the world, and I know that I can get wrapped up in fear, but God, make yourself bigger in my life than the problems that are going on in the world. Like, I want God to be bigger than even my own struggles. I want God to be bigger than World War III. I want God to be bigger than what's going on. And when God is bigger in your life, then these things, it's not that they don't matter, but they don't grip you. They don't have the power to grip you and keep you in fear. Yeah.
And that's so good. And I look at, like, if you're a young person, you just watch Facebook. And I'm not meaning to be like, whether you're a young adult or an older person listening to this too, I'm not meaning to be this to come across. Hopefully this doesn't come across disrespectful in any way, but it's the reality. And our pastors talked about it before. Your Facebook posts don't help.
Yeah.
They really don't. You're not, like, whether it's you're talking about the riots or whatever, those posts don't do anything other than creating more hate, creating more pain, creating more issues. And I think it takes two to argue, it takes two to fight.
Yeah.
I think that there's things that are happening that are wrong, absolutely. But I think that we have to be I think that we have a lot of audacity in the church to accuse a world that's broken, that just doesn't know God, and try to hold them to a standard that they can't live up to.
Yeah.
That it's the world. And then in addition to that, we're not living in their shoes. As much as what they're doing is wrong, we're not in their shoes.
Yeah.
We don't know them at all.
Exactly.
And so, and we don't know the pain that maybe what they feel was given to them and now is taken away or whatever, as much as we can see through the lens of the way we're brought up and as an American, all this different stuff. But we have to remember, we have to be very humble.
Exactly.
We have to be very humble. And if you're a teenager, like, everything, like, you should, I don't even agree with being super loud and having super hard opinions about things politically as a teenager, because you have to be humble.
Yeah.
You have to be gracious. You have to be loving. You have to be gentle, super gentle with people around you if they have differing opinions than you and all this different stuff. You just have to be.
Yeah. And I think, like, a good way to kind of take everything that's going on in the world is to just be thankful for your life.
Yeah.
Be thankful that you're an American. Like, regardless of where you stand politically.
Yeah.
Be thankful that for the majority of us aren't going to bed in fear of, is there going to be a missile coming at me tonight?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's true.
Be grateful for your life in America. Be grateful for the people that you have. I mean, there's kids waking up without their parents.
Yep, it's true.
In some of these places where these wars are going on. And so I think allow it to drive you to be grateful. And like you're saying, humble. That, you know what, I get an opportunity to live my life and not have to worry about those things. Like, my biggest worry is, am I going to fit in at school?
Yeah.
Am I going to get bombed today?
Yeah,
you know what
exactly,
I mean? So
exactly.
I know for me, that's kind of where God's taking me, is just be grateful for your life, because it could be, that could be you over there.
Yeah.
It's
true. It's true. Yeah. We take a lot for granted here, and I think that the battles are relevant to, they're intense for the person in them.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if they're much smaller, but it's like, again, we have to be humble as Christians. We can't be, we obviously can be bold in our faith and our love for Christ and our relationship with Christ, but we have to remember that Christians haven't always set the greatest example.
Yeah.
The church has not always been the greatest example. America has not always been the greatest example. So our relationship with God has to lead and has to be first. Yeah. We have to be humble. We have to go into conversations, whether it be immigration or whether it be where you stand on homosexuality, all those different things. We have to be gracious, gentle, loving as Christ would be. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean we're condoning anything. It just means we need to be gracious, loving, and whatever. We're not, yelling at people or claiming something. over them or anything like that. But I believe that we had a question for this week. So we'll go ahead and move and transition on into that. And number 2 here. Okay. So the question is, how do I tell someone I don't want to be their friend in a respectful way?
I think, I don't think I've ever had to tell somebody like, hey, I don't want to be your friend anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't think that, I've never. That doesn't mean that other people haven't had to. My wife has had to separate from friendships before, but I feel like especially if it's God driving you to this, my first thought would be pray that God would create that separation kind of naturally.
Yes, yeah.
And don't ever say, hey, God told me not to be your friend. Like, we're not in the business of being like, God told me not to hang out with you. Because what that does is that causes condemnation, that causes hurt, that causes pain. Even if we mean it well, and even if that is the case, don't say that. That's the worst thing you could do. I would pray, God, create the separation.
Yes,
like,
that's
God,
good.
create
good.
you're going to, because nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to tell somebody, hey, I don't want to hang out with you anymore.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't healthy. Like, if it comes down to it, if they're not respecting certain things, but there's other ways around it. Maybe your communication gets cut in half. Maybe you're not initiating hanging out time. Maybe you're not initiating text messages and whatever. Because I think a lot of the time what happens is when you stop initiating those things, they kind of stop as well. And so I think it's a two-way street. A relationship is always a two-way street. But for me, I would pray, God, you're going to have to create the separation. Yeah. Because the last thing we want is to cause pain in somebody's life regarding God. Because I think there's already a lot of pain for a lot of people in that area of like God and their sensitivity to God and whether God exists. And so when you throw around, hey, God told me not to be your friend, first of all, they probably don't even believe in God in the first place. And then their first experience is, hey, God told me not to hang out with you, you know? And so I think it's one of those things where you have to be in prayer. Yeah, you have to really pray and ask God how He wants you to do it, and then just trust the God in you, not yourself, but trust that God is able to show you, and He will show you how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's hard with friends, and I've had to recently, but yeah, I didn't in a friendship that I had to recently disconnect from. I didn't have to say anything. Yeah. I just kind of there was a natural separation there. And I would say if they're in your face a lot, like if they're continuously like in your face, you might just be like, hey, I need space. But exactly. I wouldn't throw God into it because that's going to give them a bad taste in their mouth of who God is. Because really it's not about that. It's about like if you need that separation, it is ultimately because like, as God develops you, you'll be able to be around people. Yeah, exactly. And be the influencer. And it doesn't matter who they are, really. Yeah.
I think that's a really good point. The problem isn't the person you're hanging around with. The problem is that you're being influenced. And so God's telling you, hey, you need to stop for your sake, not for their sake necessarily, but for your sake, for you being my child and for the plans that I have for you. They, in this moment in time, have influence over you. Yeah,
absolutely. And just so you know, once you get out of high school, I don't know about you, but man, it's hard to maintain friendships that I want to have. Oh, no and it's like hard to like communicate with the people that I really want to communicate with. Yeah. And so like, this won't be forever. This will be for a season. But yeah, if you're seeing them every day, I understand that can be hard. But just don't initiate. Yeah. And then also just pray for God to make that space in between, like you were saying. I think that's super good. And I think that you don't need to mention God told me.
Yeah, exactly.
I think but that's super wise. Thank you for that. And that's all the time that we have. And we will catch you guys next week on Loud and Clear.
Tune in to Loud and Clear every Thursday at 7 p.m. or listen online at kgtcradio.com.